Hey everybody, so today I'm going to go through an epic move that we just had in crypto. So today is the 28th of the 8th and I'm currently in Australia, so I trade the Asia session, and there was a really crazy move in the dead gap zone this morning, which is the gap between when New York opens and when Asia opens. And so I just happened to be up and like watching this market go. Most of the time nothing happens in the dead gap zone, that's why it's called the dead gap zone, but it is also an area that a lot of stuff can get manipulated, so it can be a very interesting time to try and trade. So I'm going to go over my setup, my triggers, and how I got in. But firstly, let's just have a look at this move. It's pretty crazy. So that's a 6% move on Bitcoin, and I'm actually trading Avalanche right now because it moves just a little bit more, like it went down about 8-9%, so I find that the moves are a little bit more exaggerated, even though I do always use Bitcoin as my main source of direction and overall market trending. So right here you can see Bitcoin, we've been trending basically down since the weekend. So I caught these couple of moves up here, just nice little moves, and then it just kept going. You can actually see here, this is the big triangle we've been trading. And we got the big breakout. And so what we were thinking is that we would get a bounce in this area here. So that is kind of where you see the first bit of manipulation happening. You kind of see them come down. Basically, everyone would have been triggered into their longs at this point because they would have been expecting a bounce. And what's happened is they've kind of induced the long here in this section, and then what they've done is they've ripped it down. So basically it's a very manipulated move. This would be a cascade of liquidations of people who've been triggered to go long, and basically the market makers are just like, nope, and basically push them all right back down again. And now we're just consolidating because this was really a massive move this morning. Okay, so this is a very simplified chart. I do have a couple of extra indicators on, but for simplicity's sake, this is the basis of the way that I trade. So I've been through these before. So this is my BBWP, so it's a Bollinger Band Volatility Index. And down the bottom is my modified MACD, which is basically giving me triggers and showing the direction, basically. So first thing is I always start on the 15-minute. So you can see it here in the 15-minute, and this is my basically my signals. So what you have here is when basically the line goes down, the purple line, which is your MACD. Down is for obviously a short. So starting on the 15 minutes, so you always want to start in the higher time frames. I'm getting my signals based on the 15-minute chart. So my signal to start looking for shorts is when the MACD is going down. So basically it's just the angle at which the purple line is going down. So as soon as that is closed and pointing down, that's my signal to start looking for shorts. So then what we do is we come over here and we look over on the 1-minute chart for my entries. So if we zoom in here, so this is basically 2 p.m. In New York to 4 p.m. There we go, let's see. So this is basically from 2 p.m. in New York to 4 p.m., which is the New York close. So this is the kind of area that I've been watching. And what we can see here is a very highly manipulated move. So this is, anytime you see these green and blue candles and the red and the pinks, they're market making moves. We call them vector candles, and basically they are aggressive volume speed. So it's not the amount of trades, it's the speed at which the trades are put on. It's basically, it's too fast to be humans, which it means it's algorithmic trading. It's bots basically trading. And this is what the market makers do to try and induce you to kind of do something. And so what you've seen here is that we've got this really strong move up and then nothing. It didn't go anywhere. So this is like your first warning sign. This is a manipulated move. So this is like, you want to keep an eye on it. And so basically once I've got this move, okay, it's manipulated. Oh, I've got my short signal here, which is these lines here. I'm looking for a short. And so what I want to see is a strong move down. So I've got, it doesn't have to have a vector candle, but a vector candle is also a sign that it is a strong move. But I want to see a strong move with the line passing below the zero. So the gray line is my zero line. Underneath the zero is a short. So I've got my 15-minute short signal, and then now I've got my 1 minute short signal. So at this point, we're short. And just basically placing your stop just above that local high. So that's my entry 1. And so we're watching here, and you can kind of see New York is closing. Not much is happening, but it's just a very slow trend. So you can kind of see it's just slowly. Lots of colored candles though. So you can see that this is like, it's going up, it's going down, it's not really going anywhere. But what you can actually see down here is the MACD is not making any higher highs. So this is basically, anytime it wants to go higher, it's hitting a resistance and it's going lower and it's going lower. So in order for us to see that the trend is breaking, you'd really want to see if something like this happens. You want to see it break. And this is what you want to see. So in order to break this trend, you want to see it break up through that and then make a higher high on top of the line and then to break up. That would be a sign that the trend is changing. But it didn't. It actually failed here. And this is actually another one of my singles. So if you see a failure at these levels, and if it completely comes straight back down without making any sort of higher high, that is also an entry signal for me. I find it works really well. So again, you can kind of see this manipulated move up into, this is the 50 moving average here. So I've got my 50 moving average, my 200, and then this is the 800. The yellow is the VWAP. And so you can see I've got this aggressive move with a vector candle into the 50 and a big rejection, and it's come straight back below the zero. With a vector candle, that's a very strong entry signal. So what we've got now is our second entry. So at this point you do take profits because it did break the trend, but then there's now a re-entry. Now I wasn't expecting it to do this, I was just expecting like a short, but this ended up being like a crazy move. So if we kind of see here, this whole move down is 6% just from there. I think it was like 8 or 9% all the way from the top. So what's this one? Yeah, it's like almost 8%. And so what you can see with this trend move is that down here, we're creating a trend line on the MACD. So you're not actually able to break through that. So that's a way to hold your position down until this trend line is broken. And then you can take profits. Obviously I'd take profits, I'm a scalper, so I'm in and out actually quite a few times up and down here. But if you're holding all the way down, this is a good way to kind of hold your position until you get that break. So this is the first big actual break, and it's also breaking the zero. So this is where you definitely want to take more profits. And then what actually happened is over here is that on the 15 minute, we get the uptrend. So we get a confirmed up spike on the MACD on the 15, which is our long signal. So then we'll start looking for longs. So at that point, you'll definitely want to take your profits. And you can see here what's actually happened is that we've got that break of the resistance level, we've got the up signal, and then we start making higher highs on top of the zero line, which is showing that your change of direction is happening and you've got that push come through. So now we've just been consolidating, and that was actually a really crazy trade. I wasn't expecting that. I haven't seen a dump like that for a while, not since actually a couple of weeks ago when we had the Japan meltdown. So they're pretty crazy to trade. It's hard to get those entries. Like I said, I was scalping most of this the way down. But if you'd held onto these positions all the way down, that's massive. So that's like literally, what's that? A 10 to 1 with that risk. So that's a pretty crazy move. So yeah, that's a really short explanation of some of my triggers, how I use my MACD, and also, oh yeah, this is another really good one that I like to use. With the BBWP, anytime you see this happen, you see these consolidations with the blue lines, that basically means that the market is winding up for a big move. So at this point you kind of see it's slowing, nothing's happening. You get that big move here, which is your manipulation move. And then if you get this really flat line move, like a lot of bars really close together like this, that's another really good sign that you're about to get a big move. So you saw this happen, and then you've got the short move going down. So that's another one to keep an eye of, is to kind of use these as a, basically it's a hint that something's about to happen. So you want to keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, I think that was it for today. Again, if you want my MACD filter inputs, like leave me a message down below and I can send those to you. Otherwise, you can check out my Twitter or my Telegram, and you can talk to me there, and I'll be able to chat with you soon. Okay.